Today I am going to show you how to make these Christmas trees. Let's go. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Donna, this is my Wonderland, and we are in the living room today because it is just way too cold in my craft room. I can't get over how cold it is in that room, and I'm thinking about it and I'm wondering if I turn the radiator off in that room, because obviously last year I wasn't in there, so no point in heating a room that we're not in. So I'm thinking maybe that might be the problem. I will check that later. However, I am here and we are going to be doing a Christmas craft crochet tutorial today. Now, one of these patterns I got from MJ Off the Hooks Designs. I will link her design down below her video so you can go and watch that fully. I am going to show you how I did my tree. So I have two different ones here. I have got, oh, that one's got dirty already. Interesting. So these are to replace my pumpkins on my dining table. So this one is the one that MJ did, and it's using the puff stitch. So I will give you a quick look at how to do that one. And then I created one of my own, which is this one, which is kind of using more of the pine cone design that I did a little while back. So I am going to show you how to do this version fully. But I have another small one to do, and that's what I'm doing these ones in, because it does take a lot more time to do this one than the puff stitch. And I have a large one to do. So I am using these polystyrene inserts. I got these from Amazon. They took quite a while to get here. I'm lucky that I ordered them quite early on. So they have been around for a little while waiting for me. But I have done this one. I have done this big one in the grey yarn. I've got a medium-sized one in white, and I have a medium-sized one in green. So that is what we are doing today. I am using the Hobbycraft Knit Craft Baby Brilliance, and this one is the grey one with the sparkles in it. It's 75% acrylic, 20% polyamide and 5% polyester. So that is what I'm using there, and I'm using the white one. So I've got my two green ones. I'm going to do the others in these. So I'm going to do the large one in the white and the smaller one in the grey. I am using a 4.5mm hook. This is from my hook set that is always linked below if you want to go and grab yourself a set. Other than using sizes that don't come in the kit, I use this kit for everything. So, and a pair of scissors. So we will get started with the large one. So doing what MJ taught us to do. So using the this yarn here, we are going to start with a magic loop. Okay, so we are going to start with a magic loop, and the way MJ does it, which I actually really like, is she wraps this around her finger 3 times, and then she takes the hook through, pulls this through here, and then gets the yarn over and pulls through, and that's how she starts off her magic loop, which I actually really like. It's a little bit more secure than the other way. So we have this ring here and then the thread that we will pull. We are going to do 6 single crochets into this ring. So you go through the loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, oh, not yarn over, through the loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, that's 2, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, that's 3, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, that's 4, 5 and 6. So those are our 6. Then we're going to pull this tight, and what you notice is that one pulls a bit quicker than the other. So what you need to do is then pull that one that is pulling and pull the other circle through first. So that's tightened, and then tighten that. So it's almost double security there. And then we are going to just slip stitch. Together. And 1, 2 in the chain. So that is how you're starting off this one. You can head over to MJ's tutorial, which she goes into much more detail, and she does it the way she taught it, whereas I kind of make it up as I go once I sort of know what I'm doing. So, and that is the beauty of knowing the rules, isn't it? That once you know the rules, you can break the rules. So then we're going to do a puff stitch into this first loop, and we're going to do 3 around. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've pulled up, we've chained 2, we've got 1 on the loop. Then what we do is we yarn over, go through the stitch, pull up a loop, and make sure that you've got a bit of wiggle room there. Yarn over, back through, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through, make sure you've got both sides of the stitch, pull up a loop, so that's 3 times, and then we are going to go through all of them. So, and then we do a slip stitch. So that is your first puff stitch there. I need to work out how to. Then we are going to miss a stitch. So we're going to do a chain 1. I'm going to miss a stitch and go into the next stitch. So this stitch we're missing, we're going straight into this stitch, and we're going to do the same again. So pull up a loop, yarn over, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, through, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all of them. Do a slip stitch, chain 1. And then we're going to do the same again, miss a stitch, go into the next one. So yarn over, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, oh, drop all your stitches, yarn over, pull through, pull up a loop, oh, yarn over, through, pull up a loop, pull through all, slip stitch, chain 1, and then we are going to go into the top of that first puff to join it in the round, and then we're going to chain 2 to get us over that. So now we've got this kind of triangular look to it because we've got 3 puffs, so it kind of makes that triangle. And we're going to now do the puffs into the spaces, but we are going to do 2 puffs into each space. Let me just check. Yeah, so 2 puffs into each space. So we're going to go into that first space, pull up a loop, into that same space, pull up a loop, into that same space, pull up a loop. So you've actually got 2, 4, 6, 7 loops, and then you yarn over and pull through all 7. Then chain 1, and then we do the same again, yarn over, pull up a loop, get some extra yarn, through, pull up a loop, through, pull up a loop, 7 on the knee on the hook, and pull through, slip stitch, chain 1, and now we're going over that next puff into the chain space and do the same again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I did one too many there, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, and pull through, chain 1 and into the same space. 1, 2, 3, pull through, slip stitch, chain 1, then into that last space. 1, 2, 3, and then the last one, same space. 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to join that in on the second chain stitch there to bring that together. 1, 2. So now we've got the starting of this point here, top of the tree. So that will go in there like that. Perfecto. So that is 6. So we're going to do another round where we do 1 in each space, and then we are going to add again. And really, MJ shows you how to do this, and she actually does it on bigger. So mine are mini, and this is DK yarn and a 4mm needle hook. She uses an 8mm hook and thicker yarn, and does it on larger polystyrene. So I've adapted this to what I'm using, and I will link the polystyrene cones below for you as well if they are still available. So going into this first space, because there isn't a puff there, so we've now got 6 spaces, 6 puffs that we're creating. And we're just going into every chain space on this round. And then you basically got to build it up as you need it for the cone that you are using. If you need it to be wider, then you can add more puffs in the same way we did on the last round, where you add 2 into the same chain space to give you that extra until it fits the cone that you're using. Into the top of that one. Okay, so now you can see that that is creating this triangular shape, and I'm just going to work this down until we have covered the full cone there. So I've got quite a bit more to do. Here's the one that I did already. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think 11 rows. So I'm going to go and do those quickly, and then I will come back on my last round. Well, I meant to come back when I had one line left to do, and I got completely distracted and didn't realise that I had done enough. So this is my finished cone. Now what I forgot to say was that after that first couple of rows, so the ones that I did on screen with you, where I did one puff in every other stitch and then 2 puffs in the chain spaces, after that I don't do 2 puffs in every chain space again. What I did was, I did in the next time that I did it, I did 2 single puffs, then 2 in a chain space, then 2 singles, then 2, and then I did that again further down. I did 3 singles, 2 puffs, 3 singles, 2 puffs, until I got it to the cone shape that I desire. So they do stand up okay on their own, so you could just display them like that if you didn't want to get the polystyrene cone to go on the inside. MJ actually got some little LED lights and wrapped it around the polystyrene so that they were lit up from inside, which was really cute. But just popping this on here, you can see that I was like, oh, I could do another row. However, if you sort of pull it down, I can just hook this last row over the bottom there, and it's done. So that is my large tree completed, and that has taken me, I don't know, about an hour or so. I'll have to check the timing of the video and see. But that is that one. They work up quite quickly. The other one is a little bit of a slower go, so I will show you how to do this one. That's why I did it on the small ones. So I will show you how to do this one. Okay, so I had to stop and have a little bit of lunch because I was hungry, and as is the way in the UK in December, it is now getting dark, so we've got the lights on. So the first thing you're going to do for this little tree, and the other one did take me an hour to do, I reckon this one's going to take me just as long, if not a little bit longer. What we need to do is we need to do a chain of 12 to start us off. So I've got my grey yarn here, and I am just going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then the fingers start getting a little too short, 12. So I'm just going to check that this is going to go round the base of the small tree. Yep. So that's your 12, and then I am going to join it in the round. So you go through the first stitch and do a slip stitch to bring them both together, which I've done a bit cack-handed there. And then I'm going to chain 1, 2, and then what I'm going to do with this little ring is I am going to put a half double crochet in every stitch. So find that first one, yarn over, through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, and do that all the way round. And then once you've done that last one, just going to join it in the round. Okay, so that is our first row. Now what we want to do next is we're going to do the same stitch, half double crochet, but we're only going to go into the back loop. So I don't know why when I watch other people do it, they seem to go around the outside. So I'm going to attempt to do that because it's easier for me. Okay, so first you need to make sure that you've got a chain of 2. So chain 1, 2, then you do half double crochet into the back loop only. And then again, back loop only, and you're going to go all the way around into the back loop. And then when you get back to the beginning, you're just going to do another slip stitch and chain 2. And so we are building up, and we've got this kind of raised edge here which we're going to use in a little bit. So what I'm going to do on this next row is I am going to decrease by 1 stitch. So to do that, I'm going to yarn over, go through that first back loop, still working into the back loop only, pull up a loop, into the next stitch into the back loop only, and pull up a loop, and then you'll have 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull through all of them. So that's reduced by 1 stitch. Then yarn over, go through the back loop, okay, so we have done the next round, and we are going to decrease by 2 stitches this time round. So yarn over, go through the back loop, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. Then we are going to yarn over, back loop, and we're going to do 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, then yarn over, 5, and then on the next one we're going to reduce again. So through the back loop, pull up a loop, through the next stitch, back loop only, pull up a loop, and pull through all of them, and then just half double crochet in the back loop to the end. So this will depend on how big your tree is, how many you will have to reduce by, how many you will need at the beginning. But for these tiny ones, and they're only sort of smaller than my index finger, big as my little finger, this is what I do. But it is all just trial and error, just sort of making it up as you go along. So with this one, we're going to reduce by 1. So we will go into that first back loop, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, pull up a loop, and we will go round again. And then we join it in the round, chain 2, and then always just give it a test, see where we are. Okay, so I think I'm going to reduce by 2 on this next one. So yarn over, go through that first back loop, pull up a loop through the second back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. Then I'm going to do 3 half double crochets, 3, and then I'm going to reduce by another one. So yarn over through the back loop, pull up a loop through the next back loop. Okay, now we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left, and I want it to be at about 4. So what you can see is that I've got these lines, and these are going to be very important for the next part. So I want to really reduce this because I think this is going to be the top. Let me just get my other one out. Yeah, this is the last row. So because we've got 8, I want to make it so that we've just got 4 stitches left. So I am going to decrease by doing a decrease for every new stitch. So we're going to go into the back loop, pull up a loop, into the back loop, pull up a loop, and pull that through. Then we're going to go into the back loop, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, pull up a loop, and pull through. And then we're going into the back loop again, pull up a loop into the next one, pull up a loop, and then we have got 2 more. Yarn over into the back loop, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, which gets a little bit tight, pull up a loop, and then through, and then we are going to join in the round, and then slip stitch 1. So now we have our cone shape, and now we need to make the leaves that sit on it. So to do that, we're kind of doing a puff stitch that doesn't get connected. So now you want to go through these little ridges that we've created. So in the first stitch, you are going to go through that front loop. Sorry, you're going to yarn over, go through the front loop, and then we're doing a puff, so we're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, back through, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through, pull up a loop. So 3 times like we were doing with the other style, and then you pull through all of those. And then you do a slip stitch, and then you chain 1, chain 2, and then go back into that exact same stitch and do a slip stitch there. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's just this little kind of puff petal. Okay, so I'm going to show you again. I'm going to change the camera angle, so hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit better. Okay guys, I have just done all this and realised that I was not recording, which is handy. So I did the 4 top petals and then I moved down onto the next row, and I will show you how to do that on the next one. What I've just said is that with the next row we're going to actually do a petal in every other front loop. So let me just finish this one off and I will show you what we're doing. Okay, so that's my first petal on the second row, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the next front loop. So you can see the one that I've done is here, and this is the next one here. So I'm just going to go into that front loop, yarn over, pull up a loop and slip stitch, and then I'm going to go into the next one, into the front loop, yarn over, pull through, slip stitch, there we go, and then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to yarn over and you're going to do that same puff, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through them all. Matthew's out in the garden having fun by the sounds of it. Goodness knows what he's doing. Slip stitch, chain 2, and then we're going to go round back into that same stitch to slip stitch that petal on, and then again slip stitch into the next, slip stitch into the next, chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through and create that petal, 1, 1, 2, 3, pull through all of them, 1, 2 chain stitches after that slip stitch in there, and then again I'm going to slip stitch into the next space and then slip stitch into the next and create that petal. Oh, without dropping all the stitches, Donna, would be clever. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, create that petal, 1, 2, 3, then yarn over, slip stitch, chain 1, chain 2, bring it round through that same stitch and do a slip stitch, and then we are back to the beginning. So we're going to do 1 slip stitch next here to finish it off on that row, and then to get down onto the next row we're just going to slip stitch down here. So pick up a front loop just under the one that you've done, there we go, and then we are going to yarn over, pull through and do a slip stitch. So that brings you down onto the next row, and we're just going to do the same again. So I'm going to do this row and the next row, and then I will come back and show you what we do next. Okay guys, so a little bit more of the older camera footage there unfortunately, but I wanted to be able to show you and you'd be able to see properly what I'm doing here. So I'm going on to my 1, 2, 3rd from last row, and what I'm going to do is, like I have done before, just go below the one that I've done, pick up that front loop, yarn over, pull through, slip stitch to get me onto the row that I'm now doing. And then I am going to go into the next stitch, slip stitch and pull up, and this time I'm going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and this is because it's going to create, you see on this one where these come out a bit more, because otherwise it's just the same all the way down, and even though it goes in a triangle, I felt like these all looked like the same dimension. So to just give it a little bit more dimension, we're going to make it a little bit bigger. So there's 3 chains there, and we're actually going to increase the puff, so we're going to do 4 this time. So yarn over, go through, pull up a loop, and you've got to pull that bit further because you've got 3 chains now that you're going through. Yarn over, pull up another loop, give it a little wiggle, yarn over, pull up another loop, give it a little wiggle, yarn over, pull up another loop. So then you're going to yarn over and pull through all, and if you give it a little wiggle and make sure that you're leaving enough space, it is much easier to pull it through. So we've slip stitched and then we chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, then curl it round through the same hole so we can slip stitch it together. That didn't work. Go again. Through, and then slip stitch. There we go. Okay, so that is a bigger leaf than that. Then we're going to continue as before. We're going to slip stitch into the next, and then into the next we're going to create the 4. So we're going to 1, 2, 3 chains. So I've got to remember to bring the yarn up a little bit more. Yarn over through that loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, round through and pull through. Show you that one more time. So go through the next one, slip stitch, through the next one, slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3 escapees, yarn over, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, through, pull up a loop. Just check how 1, 2, 3. So one more, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4, yarn over, pull through all of them, yarn over, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, around, through, pull up a loop and slip stitch. And I'm going to just do that for the next 3 rounds, so I will come back to you when I'm on the last round. Okay guys, so I am down to my last 2, I think. Just move that out the way. So I'm just chaining my 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, through, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull through all, slip stitch, chain 1, 2, 3, flip that round to go back through the same stitch and slip stitch, and then I'm going to go one more, so slip stitch into the next hole and then slip stitch into the next, chain 1, 2, 3, yarn over, through, pull up a loop, 1, 2, 3 and 4, yarn over, pull through all of them, slip stitch, chain 1, 2, 3, pull it round through to slip stitch, and then we're finishing off with another slip stitch to pull it through. Pull a little bit through so you can weave it in, and there is the hole, and here is the tree. So I'm just going to get the tree insert, pull that down, just pull it round. There we go, so we're down to the bottom there, and turn it over, and there is the tree. So there is that one. Put the insert back into the other one. There's the green one. So now I have my 2 little trees. So here is my little family of 6 trees. That was so much fun to do. I absolutely love them. They're going to sit in the centre of my dining table, like I said. So there we have it. I've put them back here just for the end of the video. I think they look well cute. I have got to weave in all the ends on there, and then they're going to sit on my pizza wheel that sits in the middle of my dining table. So I absolutely loved them. If you give them a go, let me know. I would love to see them on Instagram, DonnaEade81 over there. I would love to see your makes. I will link MJ's version down below so you can go and watch that tutorial in depth. And you can go back and watch my one as many times as you like, and next year you could have a little tree selection. So as I say, MJ uses a bigger hook and bigger polystyrenes, sort of using ones that are kind of this big. I just wanted to do a mini version for my dining table with more of them, so that's what I decided to do. So I halved the yarn and the needle hook size for that, but that is it for today's Vlogmas video. What day are we on now? Day 18, I think. It'll be up here somewhere. So yeah, we are getting very close to the big day. Have you finished all your Christmas shopping? Let me know down below. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you know when I next upload, and I'll see you guys in the next video.